Harry's wife. How should they be humiliated? Harry's wife has engaged on a near 2-year campaign, albeit it's been done sporadically, as she has sought to assert control over the royal family by smearing them, accusing them of being racists, complaining about the way that she had been treated, completely overlooking the fact that she had been welcomed into the royal family, that she had been given a staff to help her integrate, that notwithstanding doubtless reservations based upon material that the royal family will have unearthed with regard to her past, they still allowed her. The Queen, of course, reluctantly saying, well, I suppose I'd better say yes then to Harry when he asked for permission to marry Harry's wife. The Queen allowed it to occur. Charles walked her down the aisle in the absence of her father not being at the wedding, that she was given a huge clothing budget. So she went from being a mediocre, unknown actress who had been skirting the Toronto scene to then suddenly being a household name through marrying a prince, having a £32 million wedding, which she dismissively referred to as a spectacle, and being given every opportunity by the various members of the royal family to integrate herself into the institution. She has repeatedly suggested that she's the victim. She's told lies. She's bullied staff. She's bullied a little girl, Princess Charlotte. She's engaged in a course of a sustained devaluation of Prince Harry, dragging him into their awful shared fantasy and causing him, as can be the case, to basically play the role of a lieutenant for her, turning him against his family, turning him against his friends, turning him against his country, as he spouts the same beige word salad that she comes out with, repeating the claptrap that she's poured into his ears, as he believes that he's actually found freedom through her, when in actual fact he's turned into a grade A twat and keeps going on about his penis. Not only has she made him a laughingstock, and by extension herself as a consequence of what has occurred, she has made him subjected to considerable ridicule, and now to be regarded by many people as a traitor. They bleated about wanting their privacy, but of course, evidencing the hypocrisy of a man with rampant emotional thinking, and of course the understood hypocrisy of a narcissist, all that then happened was that they continued to merch themselves and get in everybody's faces. PR puff pieces appearing regularly in the press, the Shitflix series, the wanky arsey types, podcasts, the appearances at events, the various Fashon disasters that we've seen, Fridge by Valentino, Overripe Burst Tomato Lady, Chairman Mauder's New York, that quasi-royal tour that took place there, the Left Eye Want Here Go shenanigans at the Queen's funeral, the attendance as Inspector Gadget gets booed at the service of booing. She, of course, cannot stay away from any royal occasion, because her narcissism dictates that she ought to attend, and she sees nothing wrong in attending. As I've mentioned earlier, many people would think I just would not have the brass neck to turn up at such an event. But she does, because she has no sense of embarrassment, no sense of shame. Indeed, she believes that she's entitled to be there, because her narcissism says they've mistreated you, it's the least that they can do to have you attend these events, because her narcissism wants her to go to the events. Why? Because it's a golden opportunity for her to assert control over lots of people, draw in huge amounts of fuel from people's reactions, look to extend character trait acquisition, and of course the residual benefits of facade management and the opportunity to make money as a consequence of her attendance. Therefore, her narcissism positively quivers with excitement at the opportunity of getting her to attend these royal events. And of course, bear in mind that she's nothing without her royal title. She's nothing without her royal connections. Nobody wants to really know her because she's got nothing interesting to say. She's a dull, industrial, beige individual. So long as she has an involvement with the royal family, however, there are some people that are interested in her because they're supporters, and the rest, which is an increasingly larger number, just continue to watch and read because they want to see her crash and burn. Thus, her narcissism will propel her to attend at King Charles III's coronation in May. And this provides many people with the opportunity to dole out a significant humiliation. As I've explained in immediate parts past him, she's at risk of significant wounding from the fact that she will not be allowed on the balcony. She will receive repeated substantial woundings because other members of the royal family will quite simply not have anything to do with her, because they dislike her for the way that she has behaved. Nothing, of course, to do with racism, and everything to do with the way that she behaves. So she faces a difficult front in that respect. But what about you, the general public? If you were to attend in the crowds at the King's coronation, and you see Harry's wife, what would be your response? Would you be tempted to boo and give her a dose of challenge fuel? Or would you encourage everybody to #turn your back in order to give her the maximum wounding, as thousands of tertiary sources all fall silent on her appearance and turn their back upon her, causing repeated low-level woundings, but en masse? It would be devastating for her to receive that. Perhaps you think that it would be appropriate for plenty of people to wave placards everywhere she goes, taking the piss out of her being on a worldwide privacy tour. Again, that would be challenge fuel. She's getting the fuel, but she won't like it because she's not of the type of a highly provocative narcissist. See the video of that name, whereby those types of narcissists revel in essentially being pantomime villains. They love winding people up and really don't give a fig about being challenged because they don't operate facades. Harry's wife does. And whilst the fuel, of course, is welcome, she's repeatedly challenged by such actions as placards mocking her because it fails to accord with her own projected image of being a thoroughly decent and pleasant person. Perhaps you would advocate that she gets tomatoes thrown at her. Of course, that's a physical assault and people would be likely to be arrested as a consequence of such conduct, and one, of course, would not advocate taking such steps. But for those that did so, again, that would be challenge fuel, because it would tell her that she was not liked. She'd get fuel, of course, because of the reaction, but it would cause her a problem, again, because she thinks that everybody should like her, because she, in her deluded mind, believes that she's eminently likeable. She risks huge humiliation. When she attended for the service of booing and the shushing of the colour, and of course the Queen's funeral, to some extent she was shielded by the fact that there were not great numbers there at the service of booing, and of course people were not going to be so disrespectful as to boo or behave in a particular way at the funeral. They also didn't want to make it all about her. There may be similar concerns, of course, with the King's coronation in terms of not wanting to make it all about her. But given the fact that she's likely to attend and there'll be an opportunity to demonstrate people's views about her without detracting from the coronation as a whole, how would you see the best way of people going about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.